Hey, you guys. Okay, update time. This has been a weird 48 hours. Ever since I've been like working on my own, my miles have been off by like 200, 240 miles. So, I talked with them like last week, and they told me that because the miles, when you accept the load, they have the miles on there, and I kept telling them that when you put it in, it's always off, and she told me not to worry about um, what it says because they go by what's off the e-log, and I was like, oh, okay. And that week they got it closer to what it should be, and there were some of them that they gave me, some loads that they gave me that were too many miles, but it only paid me exactly the miles that I that I worked. Like one of them had me going from Indiana to Illinois, and they said it was 1,100 miles, but it really wasn't. It was like 62 miles, and I got paid the 62 miles. So, all last weekend until I, hurt my arm, you know, um, they've been like they gave me a load and they said it paid like 375 miles, when in reality I'm working 412 miles. So, when I talk to payroll, they say that no, you only got paid for 375 miles. She said I need to talk to the fleet manager. So that's what I do. And I explained to them, like, like, I'm not sure what's going on. Now, mind you, this is 8 days that I've been doing it. So it's off by like 32 miles each way for 8 days. So I asked them, if they look at my e-logs, you'll see that I've been running 407 miles each way and not 375 miles. So I get a message back, and she said, "What are you go? How? What are you going by? Address to address or zip code to zip code? Why would I go zip code to zip code?" And I told her address to address. That's how. That's isn't that like how I'm running? I'm running from this address to that address. And she's like, "Oh no, we just do zip code to zip code," which makes no sense to me because if they don't want their load dropped off in the zip code, then that doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. I'm like, I'm not dropping the load off in the zip code. I'm dropping it off at an address. So that does I don't get what they're trying to say. So last pay period, I was off 240 hours, and this pay period, I'm off 240 hours, and pretty much there's nothing that they can do about it. Now, mind you, I just told you all last time that I'm taking an 11 cents a mile cut because they switched me off of an over the road dedicated account to just regular over the road. So I had to, in my first week, understand that I'm getting paid 11 cents less an hour, from orientation to me starting. I just took an 11-cent hit. And now you're telling me that I'm not even going to get paid the miles that I'm actually working. I'm just getting a ballpark, a ballpark figure of the miles that I'm working. And I don't understand it. So while I'm trying to get clarity, and I'm not being ignorant, I'm not an ignorant person. I'm not going to cuss or say nothing stupid, but I do want clarity. And I got locked out. They don't want to talk to me anymore. They locked me out. They locked me out. And I'm like, really? You got to be kidding me. I'm not understanding this. And if I was a dog, I'd say the name of the company, but I'm not, I'm not. I'm learning. Like I said, this is just a learning experience. You know, it's making me really second guess what I'm doing because I'm smarter than that. I wanted to do this because, like I said, I wanted to work on my own, run my own trucks because I already know how to dispatch my own loads. I haven't been working with a company, but I've been assisting other drivers for a long time. I used to dispatch their loads, and I've driven big rigs all my life, but I just never, uh, got the A license. So I finally got the A license, and I started driving the truck, and it's no different than anything else I've been driving. It's still, you're gonna have, big butt, and you gotta be careful of, the your front. Yeah, it's the same things. I know how to watch clearance because that's, everything I've driven. You gotta watch out your clearance. You gotta watch, you know, your pivot points, on your turn. So I understand that. Um, like I said, the only thing I needed to really learn was bagging up, and I got that really quickly because once I understand the schematics, it's just like anything else I did. So, um, they're making me like really just want to take my little master degree and just go sit down in the office, which I dread. I hate office jobs. I swear I do. I hate office jobs because this is they're sucking the life out of my dream. It's like they're taking my joy, and I'm like, part of me is fighting it. It's like, don't let them take your joy. Don't let them take your joy. But I, I can't never really talk to my own fleet manager. Seems like I talk to everybody else but my fleet manager. I think I've only talked to him twice, and usually he just calls to tell me how good of a job I'm doing and how he wishes more drivers were like me, and he's been getting good feedback from the shippers and the co-signees, and it made me feel good. But then it's like, now you're treating me like, the bald-headed stepchild, and and I'm like, okay, it's just baffling to me. It really is. It's just baffling because I know I did a good job. I know I did. I did. I have been a trooper. I did what needed to be done to get the merchandise where it needed to be and the time frame that it needed to be done in. And it's just like a huge, you know, that's what I'm feeling like right now. And then for them to cut me off and so that I can't communicate anymore is just baffling. I'm just like, really? Really? Now, I got my fleet manager's email address. I could just email him, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm going to burn me some sage, and I'm going to light me some candles and meditate, and I'm going to think about what am I going to do, because the ideal and the aura that I'm getting from them is, please don't come back. That's not what I'm really getting. Because like I said, I just got injured on Sunday, and they're asking me to give them their key and unseat me on Tuesday, and I'm like, I was supposed to come back to work on Friday, but if you want to unseat me today, I'll just take more time off. I'm like, but I am just really disappointed. I am so disappointed. And I had a lot of love. I still got a lot of love. I'm not going to say I don't. I still got a lot of love for the trucking company. I still enjoyed it. I don't regret it. I'm not done. I will make this dream happen with or without them. You know, I, there's other companies. I know it is. You know, I got my A license, my hazmat tankers endorsements, my doubles and triples. I got 20 years driving big rigs. Yeah. But I just wanted to talk with you all. Just, pitfalls. That's what I'm gonna call this one. The pitfalls. Just things to, I hope that other people will learn. One, after you come out of training, make sure you're still on the same load that they assigned you to when you were in orientation. Make sure that they're paying you the same amount. If they said that they hired you for a dedicated over the road account, and you're not training on a dedicated over the road account, start right there, because that's where everything went cuckoo. Because they put me, the dedicated account that I was supposed to be on works east of the Mississippi, and where they sent me was in Texas, and that was mistake number one. I didn't know that. I just thought that one dedicated account was the same as another dedicated account, but apparently it isn't. So if they have you on a dedicated account, make sure that where you're training is exactly what you're going to be doing. So if you're going to be doing regional dedicated, make sure that they have you working within that region. 2, when they say that they pay you by the mile, ask them, are they paying you from address to address, or are they paying you zip code to zip code? Because zip code to zip code could be 20, 30 miles short each direction, depending on how far away you're going in that zip code. They could pinpoint it at the beginning of the zip code, and you could be going all the way at the other end of that zip code, and you're not getting paid for none of that. So, ask them that. If it is address to address, are you getting paid the actual true miles that you're running? And verify it. When you accept the load and it says one amount of miles that you're running, and you run it through the Rand McNally and it's saying another one, before you go anywhere, call them and tell them, hey, because that's the only time that they changed it is when I did that. I noticed that. And if I had known, instead of trusting like I always do, I did it, and then I figured that they would just fix it. But the ones that I actually did call them about before I ran it, they fixed. And those were right. But the ones which were way more, I think I only did that twice. So the other ones that I noticed were off, I just figured I could shoot them a little text and they would fix it. But once you're rolling and you get it there, they ain't thinking about it. You're going to get paid exactly what it said. So have them fix it before you take it out. And those were some of the things I learned in this little micro, because it wasn't that long. It's September to now. So, yeah, I learned a lot. I can't say I don't. So I can't be mad, because, like they say, life, is a lesson you're going to learn. You're going to learn the good, you're going to learn the bad. I learned some good stuff, and I also learned some not so good stuff, so with whatever happens after this, I will take that knowledge that I've acquired and apply it to the next position. But yeah, so I just wanted to share that little tidbit of information, and I hope that helps other people. Yes, I'm going to keep my head up, and I'm going to smile, and I'm not defeated, just a little shook, but I always come back. I always get back up. You can fall 1,000 times. As long as you get up 1,001 times, you're a winner. So on that note, peace.